So if you're paying really close attention, you'll notice something's missing off the go-kart. Yeah, so we're missing the tire. Now when I bought that go-kart, I wasn't exactly very easy on it. I took it out for some light off-roading, and I ended up putting a big old slash in the tire. I don't know much about go-kart tires, but we gotta get this tire off of this wheel and we gotta get our new tire put on. I mean, how hard can it be? All I know is this original tire is extremely squishy, seems kind of weak and delicate. Our new tire, it's stiff. I can basically stand on this thing and it does not collapse. So this thing is beefy. Whew. Not gonna lie, that took me like 20 minutes. Go-kart tires are definitely harder than vehicle tires. They're just so small. You can't really hold them. They're flopping all around. They don't have any weight to hold themselves down. And then you don't have enough room around this edge to get enough bites. So you're trying to take these big old bites to get that tire around that lip. What a pain. Guess we don't need this anymore. Brand new beautiful tires on, so that's enough work for one day. So I'm gonna leave this video. Just kidding, guys. I'm not gonna leave it off there. We're gonna start working on the seat. I'll tell you guys an explanation as to why we're not using the original seat out of the donor cart. Well, first of all, this thing is extremely heavy. It's extremely big, so it would just take up a lot of room in there. The second thing is the frame on this thing is pretty destroyed. The bottom here was rubbing the ground. You can see that that tube is about halfway through. That's not very structural, so I would have to repair that, and that's not an easy repair. And the third thing is, there's nothing symmetrical on this thing. It's designed to sit in that go-kart kind of sideways, so it's not parallel with the tires. It's not perfectly straight. So with this thing being sideways, if I were to put it in our go-kart, the whole seat would have to sit in there sideways. The frame would be in there sideways. It's just real goofy. Let me kind of show you. With the seat in here so that you're sitting perfectly straight, you can see the frame of this thing is completely crooked. This bar is kind of sitting at a weird angle, and even down here you got all these weird angles where this side is pulled a lot more forward than this side. So I just didn't want to deal with all that geometry, and it's big. We got to get that chain up through here, so the seat would have had to be cut. The new seat is a lot lighter, a lot smaller. You can see we should have plenty of room to get our belt up through here. And then the biggest thing is this thing is also symmetrical. So it's just a better fit for this go-kart. Since everything is perfectly straight, I want the seat perfectly straight. So it's just a better overall fit. So this seat is gonna be able to sit right in here just like so. But the first thing I want to do is actually build a frame for this thing. Once I get that frame made, I can take the measurements and then we can figure out a way to attach the frame of this seat to the go-kart. In order to build the frame for the seat, I'm going to be using this square tubing I had laying around. The only issue with it is it has these slots cut out. I'm going to weld those up, get those sanded flush, just for looks. It'll make me feel better. You may as well do it right the first time. And then I can build a frame for this thing. I'm definitely going to have a support here. I might build a square off of it. And then I need an angle piece here for this little back bolt. Let's get started by welding up these slots. I need to find the angle that I'm going to be welding this piece on, so I'm going to do it in the most scientific way that I know how, and I'm just going to eyeball it. Took a little bit of playing around with, but I did get that angle exactly where I want it, so I got the same exact angle in both of these pieces, and that's how I'm going to be welding them together. They're already prepped and ready to go, but before I weld them, I am going to copy these angles onto two more pieces because we're going to have to do the exact same thing to the other side. And to ensure everything stays nice and straight, I'm going to tack it in the vise. That lines up pretty well, so now we just have to replicate this exact same thing for the other side. Alright, so all these clamps look pretty wild, but by doing this, I'm pretty much guaranteeing that I'll have the same exact angles on both sets of these pieces that I'm making. I'm now going to create the little cross members that go in here. I already took my measurements and I know I want those to be 8 3/4. So I'm going to get those cut out and I'm going to cut them out at the end of this piece here. I'm just going to take a measurement off the end, measure up 8 3/4, cut it, and that'll leave me plenty of extra material on the back of here so we can figure out what we're going to do with all that. Unfortunately, the concrete floor is one of the flattest surfaces I have in my garage, so I got everything mocked up down here. I did throw 2 pieces of tube under here just to help hold everything flat, and the big measurements I took were from this crease here to the edge of this tube. I got this distance and this distance exactly the same, and then I did the same thing from the edge of this tube to the edge of this tube, and I got everything measured out. Now our seat is gonna sit on here just like so. Everything looks good, so let's go ahead and get this tacked in. All right, this thing is all tacked up, looking good. The only other thing I did was cut off that excess length of tubes up here. We can throw this thing in the go-kart now, and I got these blocks of wood in here just to help mock it up. The seat is gonna have to sit kind of high in this thing, but I think this is about where it needs to go. And then I marked these tubes here where that seat sits in so I can cut them here, but I might have to tie in the seat bracket to that rear bracket I made for the second axle because I want to beef up that second axle, and I'm thinking if I can tie both of these pieces together, that'll be pretty strong.